What was your overview of what you saw from the team up in Brooklyn?
Well, unfortunately, we didn't play as well as you need to play when you play two really good teams on a consistent basis. I think a positive was, I think, in a lot of cases, our half-court defense is getting much better. We're rebounding the ball on both ends of the court like you need to. On a negative, we did not take care of the ball, especially in that second game. And offensively, we're just either rushing things or not getting the ball with the right decision being made. And that's something that we need to improve on. And one of the challenges always at this time of the year is you play so many games without any practice time in order to try to shore some of those things up. And there's no difference heading into this game on Tuesday.
First game you did a good job on the offensive boards, but I guess it didn't translate into enough points.
You need some more there. You need to finish those plays around the basket. Right now we probably have 5 guys that aren't shooting as well as they're capable of shooting, and we need them to improve in that area. And when we get an offensive rebound, we need to capitalize on that, either with a putback or a kick out. So now we either have an open 3 off that, or we're able to get into another offensive execution opportunity.
You sort of had a catch-22 situation. The first game, guys like Cam and Daniel didn't seem like enough touches. Second game, they got the touches, but weren't able to.
Yeah, I thought Daniel played a heck of a game on against St. John's, and you're gonna get a couple shots blocked. The interesting thing is, Beck was the best shot blocker in the country, and he had 6 of them. Daniel's pretty good. He had 3 of them. You know what I mean? So that you're at -3 right there, and that shouldn't make the difference in the game, to be honest with you. In that particular game, you can point to one thing, and that was our turnovers, and in the second half, our inability to defend without fouling. They shoot 25 free throws in the second half, and that was a difference in the game.
Is it the same issue with the fouling as it's been, or?
Well, all of them are on drives. Every single one of them is on the dribble drive. There's probably 3 or 4 that were foolish reach fouls where we didn't need to foul at that particular point, and all that does is get them into the bonus sooner, and we need to eliminate those. Sometimes being a little overzealous, sometimes maybe taking a shortcut on the defensive end. But even with all that, if it limited the turnovers in that situation, you probably would have been okay.
What are the challenges you see from Illinois?
Obviously, very, very talented team. Very similar to last year's team. They had a kid sitting out in Rice that has just kind of replaced, their scoring guards that they had last year. They're a very veteran team. They have 2 juniors in the starting lineup, a redshirt senior, a redshirt junior, and a graduate student. And then the guys off the bench are younger guys, but those guys know how to play. They know exactly what they want to do, and you have to do a great job of guarding the drive, guarding them in transition, and they're a tremendous offensive rebounding team. The one thing that's different is they're 2 and 3 men. Rice and Beltran are their second and third leading offensive rebounders. So you have to do a really good job in terms of your perimeter cutouts.
What are the chances or when do you figure you might be able to get Jason back?
He won't play in this game. Our hope is to get him some practice time today, and then the rest of the week, maybe on Saturday, play a little bit.
You mentioned the decisions on offense. Is that mostly shoot or don't shoot, or is it also? No,
those are more turnovers. I mean, I think we've, for the most part, taken some, quality shots. That's why I have a faith that we'll start putting some of those in. Sometimes it's in the open court in terms of our decision making, when to attack and when not to. Sometimes it's on drives to the basket, when to kick it out, as opposed to shooting the ball or whatever the case might be. And then some of it is when you're on the wing, you have to be able to feed the post against some pressure, and that's an area we need to get better at.
Is there a chance, having guarded a prolific scorer like Henderson, that experience can help down the road?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think all this stuff, it's second day of December, and we've already played 3 top 50 teams, and we're playing a 4th one tomorrow. You know what I mean? And those are good teams with high quality, high caliber players, ACC caliber teams. You look what Dayton did out in Maui. Ole Miss is undefeated. Illinois is undefeated. Illinois went to UNLV and won on the road. So we definitely have taken a pretty big chunk in terms of the competition of some of the teams that we're playing. We need to play better against them, because that's the point that we want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just to be able to play and compete, but be able to execute the game plan and win some of those games. And we have another opportunity tomorrow.
Was fatigue a factor against St. John's?
I don't think so. I think maybe 1 or 2 guys played that have logged a lot of minutes. Obviously, it is what it is. You have to deal with it. But the injury to Travis has hurt our rotation. There's no doubt about that. I said on my radio show, we don't necessarily have to reinvent how we're going to play without him, but we have to make some adjustments. And one of the problems is just in terms of the practice time, in order to get that secure, and how what we need to do on that. Because Trey did log a lot of minutes in those 2 games, and so I think it's important that we figure out a way to compete at a high level tomorrow, and then we use the month of December to kind of tighten up exactly what we need to do to be successful. And it's we need to continue to defend and rebound the way we are. I think we can keep getting better on defense and rebounding the ball the way we're doing it on both ends. And then offense, we need a little higher execution rate, especially against the better teams. Our offensive efficiency for the season is very good, but in those 3 losses, it's in the 90s. And what that's hurt then is our defensive efficiency as well. I think about 30% of the points, 35% of the points have come off turnovers in 2 of our 3 losses. That's a big number, because it doesn't matter how good your defense is. So one way to make our defense better is to continue to tighten up our execution on offense, playing more inside out, getting the ball inside of those big guys, playing more inside out on our drives as well, creating those driving opportunities for open shots on the backside is something that I think we can get a lot better at.
The inside-out play, I know you've always talked about it, and you obviously got the bigs to do it. Is it lack of awareness with your guards, or is it maybe not seeing those opportunities as well as they should, or anything particular?
I think the 2 things that we've seen that we have to get better at is getting the ball inside against the zone when we face a zone. Even though every team that we've played that has played an extensive zone against, we've won. And then being able to handle some pressure from the wing and the top and still be able to get the ball inside. I think as we address that in practices and get better at it in live action during practices, that will make huge strides in games as well.
I imagine you're still looking for that production off the bench too.
Yeah, that's you mentioned Jason. That's one area I think he can really help us in. As I said, you wipe away last year from the books for him, because he was never at 100%. Even after weeks of rest, he wasn't. And so what you try to do is go back and know that he has proven that he can score at this level. Now we need greater consistency from him on that, but that should help some of our bench production as well. We've always been able to count on Cam, and as we said, he hasn't got the ball, and when he has, he's rushed it sometimes, which is understandable. But as a senior now, he needs to understand that when he gets the ball, he needs to make good decisions too, which our post guys in the past and then sometimes this year usually do.
I imagine if he becomes a better passer, teams aren't going to really fall back on him too as much, knowing that.
Yeah, knowing that it might not come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's the the cycle of the game. You know, the guards need to feed the post, understanding that helps our offense. It also helps them because it eliminates the pressure, because now the teams are they going to go down and help down there. It also creates some shots from the perimeter. But the big guys also have to know when they get the ball that if they feel any pressure on them, just like the guards, they need to kick the ball back out. And that's just something that we need to improve in.